If I was a god. If I was a god, had the powers of a god, if I could change reality itself into, well, my own vision of perfection, I probably wouldn't change a thing, I don't think I'd smite your enemies, or send fireballs from the sky. What I think I would do is, well, hold up a mirror. So that all of humanity could see itself reflected in that mirror. So we could all see, well, what we become, as a whole. The human race. So you could see the incredible achievements we're capable of. Our ability to build, to create, to turn thoughts and dreams into reality, and so you could see the incredible destruction we are also capable of. Cruelty, torture, slavery, murder. As a species, we're more than capable of building hell or creating heaven right here on Earth. Not only are most of us blind to ourselves, we have mirrors everywhere, but few people reflect on, what's underneath. We can see how we appear on the outside, how we reflect in that mirror. But we don't reflect on that human, that soul that sits inside each of us. How many people look at themselves in the eyes anymore? And then honestly and truthfully judge themselves. Have you created the world you wanted? The one you thought we'd all be in? I haven't yet, but that doesn't mean I'm going to quit trying. Have you become what you want to become? Do you even feel responsible for yourself, or that how your life has turned out is, it's your responsibility. It is up to you, regardless of what the world's doing itself, Because, honestly, if I was a god, instead of raining fire, I would give you and myself and, all of humanity a gift. A gift of sight, a mirror into the soul. We're all capable of bringing both light and darkness into this world, and most of us will do both at some point or another. We'll do both good and bad things. It's just built into us. Most of us are selfish in some areas and generous in others, and most of us will both build and destroy throughout our lifetime. Quite often even the things we care about, like relationships and reputations, even our beliefs. It's impossible to see what's good if you don't have evil to compare it to, or bad if you prefer that over the evil side. Either way, good and bad or good and evil, they're linked. So as humans on the journey we all take, the one that is your life, your experiences upon this world, we have to experience or at least observe both good and evil. Both in your own life and in the human race itself. Even if I was a god, it would not work if I just took the evil away. Honestly, that has to be up to you, up to me, up to all of us. Our souls actually require the choice in order to grow. So this mirror that I would give humanity, the one that reflects both the good and the evil that we're all capable of. This mirror that reflects, how much of either you've taken part in, how much good and bad that you have personally brought into this world, how much joy and happiness or anger and frustration. You know, I mean, have you been an anchor for others to hold on to in a storm? Huh? Or are you the storm? If I was a god, I would show you that reflection of yourself, of your soul, well, of who you've been up until this very point. So you could decide for yourself who you truly want to become. You know? If I was a god and I simply swept in and saved the world, it would mean nothing. We'd all learn nothing. And because of that, it couldn't and it wouldn't last. So if I were a god, I would show you all that mirror, so that you all had the power to save yourselves. And for those of you who, prefer a vengeful god, the fire and brimstone type of god, all you have to do is actually look a bit harder, and you see that I have that covered as well. I mean, it's all in the mirror I've been talking about, because if you showed the reflection of the elite in that mirror, this group of individuals who are running the world, who are such a huge part of the darkness that we are experiencing in this current time period. This group that thinks of themselves as better than you and better than me, smarter, richer, born to rule. I mean, they already act almost like they think of themselves as gods. I mean, but if these people were forced to see their own sad, shriveled up, dark little souls, that through their own actions, their own evils, their souls have lost all light. These people that pursue power and money and fame above all other things. This group of elite who have collectively sold their souls to the darkness. This group that will never know the true joys this world has to offer. I mean, they'll never know real friends, people who won't just stab you in the back. I mean, they don't understand sun and smiles and laughter, the joy of enjoying a meal that you cooked for yourself. Or that feeling of contentment you get when you've got all your chores done and the afternoon is yours to do whatever you want with. The elite are so busy trying to run the world, to control absolutely everything, There's no way. They can't even just enjoy a sunrise. I mean, at least not the way you and I can. Their souls are simply too dark. They're like little lumps of coal sitting in an otherwise empty vessel. It's why they are never satisfied, and why the money and the power and the fame, it's never enough. I mean, it's why they always need more. Their souls, that lump of coal, it requires the darkness. It requires acts of evil. And unfortunately, I mean, they need our souls to feed theirs. While the rest of us search for some light, some happiness or contentment, While the rest of us feel like our souls are starving and the world just doesn't have enough light left to feed us all. Well, the elite bring even more darkness into our reality. Which brings me all back to, if I was a god. So, if I was a god, I would hold that mirror up for all to see, all of humanity. A mirror that reflects your soul instead of the physical vessel that we all walk around in. A mirror that reflects all the good and evil each of us brings into this world. And not only so the regular people, you and me and us, not only so we could see the darkness and and the light, of course, within our own souls. And each of us could decide to do with that information what we choose. So that we could all try to balance ourselves and our lives and our very reality, for that matter. Day and night, good and evil, light and dark. Our very souls must all stay in balance. The thing is, though, good weighs very little, while evil is extremely heavy, and it takes a lot of good to balance against, just a little bit of evil. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. So, not only would I show you that mirror so you could see your own soul reflected in it. Of course, if I was a god, that is, I would show you how bright the soul of an innocent shines. Of a child, or of someone who doesn't understand that good and evil or whether they even exist. And most importantly, I would show you the souls of the current group running the world. What the greed and never-ending hunger has done to their souls. I'd show you what their souls have become. The little pits of darkness, they're trying to steal the light from around them, from the world. The elite, these globalist leaders, these billionaires and the financial entities which hold all of the power. If I was a god, I would show you their souls, and you would recoil in disgust. Honestly, I think you'd have to look away. If you could actually see these evil little creatures and their pitch black, gooey, deteriorating souls. Just dark lumps of coal festering. And you would instantly stop following these monsters. You'd see all their words and promises for the lies that they are. And any respect you had would turn to disgust. You see this artificial world they're creating for what it is. A dark, evil, soulless playground, for them, not one for us. So if I were a god, all of humanity would see this. And instead of fighting each other over skin color or gender or political affiliation or sexual preference, for that matter, instead of hating people just because they think differently than you do, and instead of being jealous of people who have, attained more power or wealth or fame than you, we'd all be judged by how brightly our souls shined, by what we've added to ourselves and our communities, our world, not by what we've managed to steal from others, not by the wealth we've obtained. The globalist elite and billionaires are, they're not creatures to look up to. They're a warning to the rest of us of how power and greed will destroy your soul. Will ruin everything that is good. And it will create a hell right here on Earth. But yeah, I personally, and I bet you too, I think I'd prefer to build a heaven with the rest of my bright-souled brothers and sisters, with you guys. And not in the afterlife, but right here on Earth. So if I was a god, that is how I would start. Not by raining fire and brimstone, but by showing us our own souls, The unfortunate thing about all this, or maybe fortunate, I guess that depends on your point of view, doesn't it? But in the end, I'm not a god. The thing is, this mirror I'm talking about, it actually already exists. And that reflection of the soul, it shows up in the difference between what a person says and what a person does. The lion is not evil because he's not pretending to be something that he is not. A lion is dangerous, yes. but evil, no. On the other hand, our current politicians, the billionaires, the con men and the thieves, the narcissists and even the rapists they will all tell you one thing while doing another. They will all lie straight to your face and will say it's to keep you safe. That they care about you. But the reality is, crime and hunger, poverty, homelessness, and even sickness and death, they're all getting worse. They're growing like a cancer in our societies. And like the lion, these people are dangerous, but unlike the lion, it really is so much worse. I mean, it's deception. It's evil that pretends to be your friend. It's evil that's pretending to be good. Well, hopefully, even though I'm not a god, and I can't force anyone to use this other mirror. This mirror that shows your soul shine instead of just the physical vessels that we all walk around in. The thing is, anyone that's listening they can use it for themselves. And then maybe you can help others find their own mirror because honestly, and this is probably the biggest truth in this whole thing. If we put good souls in charge of our world, of our countries, of our communities, and even ourselves, then our current hell, has every possibility of becoming heaven. If I was a god, I'd simply give humanity the gift of clarity. To see beyond just the physical world. And our current hell on this earth, it starts to become the heaven that we all need, that we all want. And we don't have to wait until the afterlife, We could all celebrate now. So, if I was a god, I'd simply let people see themselves and others for who they really are. I'd let people see that the cost of power and fame and control, it's the cost of darkening your own soul. It's a deal with the figurative devil, is it not? And the cost would be clear to all of us if we just start looking for ourselves. The devil would pretend to be nice, and the devil would pretend to be your friend, to care about you. He would pretend that, he knew what to do. He could see the direction to lead us all in, and he would keep us all safe. The devil would lie through his teeth to each and every one of us, just to convince us to follow him. While he created a prison for all of us that we didn't even realize we were in. Well, you don't need to believe in a god or a devil, or even if we have a soul or not, is to be able to see the truth in everything I've just said. So if I was a god, I would give you all a mirror to your own souls. I give everyone the gift, stop staring at their phones, and the gift to see beyond just the physical world. I'd simply give humanity the gift of clarity.